You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension.
There is nothing wrong with your television. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are now controlling the transmission. We control the horizontal and the vertical.
Oh, great! It's Monsters, our favorite show. It's starting.
All right, you guys ready?
Yeah.
Hold on, I gotta go shave real quick.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Tales from the TV, an anthology series recap podcast where each week we discuss an episode from a different anthology series, such as The Twilight Zone, Tales from the Crypt, Black Mirror, and many, many more. My name is Joe. I will be your host for this evening as we depart on our maiden voyage into the mysterious world of Alfred Hitchcock Presents. But before we get to that, please allow me to introduce my co-hosts. First up, we have our wrench-wielding vigilante who is not afraid to take matters into his own hands, my boy, Remy. How you doing, Remy?
Doing great. I love that intro.
Thank you. I worked very hard on it. All right. And last, but certainly not least, he's mysterious. He's often well-dressed, and you'll hardly ever find him stalking women in a trailer park. Please welcome to the show, Rico. Hi, Rico.
What's up, you anthologaholics? I think this episode is going to be very nice.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So,
That would be nice.
how you guys doing? How you been? It's been a while since we talked.
It has been. I'm
What's
doing
new?
pretty good. New job is going good. It's insane, but it's going. So I haven't been fired yet, so that's good.
There you go.
That's
That's all that
good.
matters, right?
It's all that matters at this point.
All right,
I
Rico,
have been playing the new Pikmin Bloom game for phones.
Looks
Mobile
fucking
game?
adorable.
And seeing as I walk all day at my job, I think I could become the #1 player in Pikmin Bloom history.
You might, like, genuinely.
sure the
A
competition.
Pikmin god, as some would say.
God of the pick.
What's up, though, guys?
Are the
How
red
guys
ones
doing?
your
How you doing,
favorite?
Joe? Why would the red ones be my favorite?
I don't know, no reason.
All right. I haven't been up to really anything new lately, to be honest. About it.
You got a new
Just been
chair?
Preparing. I did get a new chair, and my back is thanking me very much for it. It's comfy, and I have this just irresistible urge to just keep swiveling in it. I'm trying not to.
Oh, it's really hard not to.
Does it make
Yes.
noise? Mine makes
No.
noises when I swivel. So
No, but if I get a good start, I could just do a good
Keep
3 or
going.
4 turns before it really stops. So there's that.
very
All right.
nice. We launched. Should I plug
yeah,
the
go ahead.
audio feed first? Okay, so
Yeah,
we
take it away.
just launched our audio feeds on any podcasting network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, basically everything. So go follow us on there, subscribe, and please leave a review on Apple Podcasts if you can. 5 stars, please.
5 stars
And-
only.
Please. And that's about it. Then go check out our Twitter at Tales from the TV.
All
That's all I
right.
got.
Sounds good.
Oh yeah, and our YouTube channel,
ahead.
which will exist by the time you're watching this.
We hope.
We hope, if Remy's not negligent and does his job.
We will post it on our Twitter, or we will tell you where it is next episode.
Or hopefully you're watching this here and that's not even a problem.
Yes, hopefully.
All right. So moving on, before we get into the episode, Rico, you did something interesting recently. You watched a movie for the first time in
Ever?
preparation for this episode.
Yeah, it's my first
Yeah.
movie.
Your first movie ever. No, do you care to tell the people what movie you watched and your thoughts on it?
So I watched, in honor of this episode, I watched Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho for the first time.
I'm so jealous.
And yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. It was when I first looked at I thought it said it was only like an hour maybe an hour and 20 minutes, but after like 2 hours, I'm like, how is this movie still on?
Still going.
But it was it was a little long, but I liked it a lot. It's pretty good,
It's a
Awesome.
great movie.
especially for an older movie.
It does drag towards the end. There's a bit where it's like, what are we doing here? Like,
It's like the whole first half of the movie, it's like the main character is just gone halfway through the movie, and then
yeah.
her sister like takes his place, I guess.
Do you know what the alternate title for that movie was?
No.
Wimpy.
Wimpy.
Yeah, horrible name. They definitely dodged a bullet
Yeah.
there.
And I
It's
was a little
terrible.
shocked. I was a little shocked at the end though, when he
Now,
comes out in the dress.
Did
Spoiler alert.
did you know that going in?
I didn't know anything, no.
Really?
All I knew was like the shower scene.
Yeah,
Oh,
you can't escape that.
that's even better. I was
But
saying there's 2
I've
things
escaped
people usually know
spoilers
about that
for
movie.
80 years.
I know it's impressive.
Yeah, that is
6
impressive.
years.
I'm even more jealous because that's the full experience. The reason why I brought that up actually is because it reminded me of a conversation my brother and I had recently, and we were talking about old movies from long before our time and what it would have been like to have had the opportunity to see them
Yeah.
in theaters when they came out. Because Psycho, you see it now, and there's so many movies that are 1,000 times more shocking now that even though you enjoyed it, it's not the most mind-blowing thing you've ever seen. But at the time, like, you got a woman in the shower, you got a man dressing up like his mother, like that was just
It's the
overwhelming
progenitor
for
of
people, probably.
the whole slasher genre.
Yeah, exactly. So we were just talking about what movies we would love to be able to go back and have that opportunity to see. So I wanted to pose that question to you guys because I'm curious if you could go back and see any movie from before our time and really experience it as it comes out with the people, get the mood, get the feel of the time. What movie would that be? Remy, start with you.
Let's see if I can pull this off. It would be this one, Alien,
Nice.
because of the fact that apparently during the original run of that film, people lost their minds at the chestburster scene. People were vomiting in the aisles, and I would pay money today to see people do that.
Yes.
So
that
that's
would
my
be,
answer.
yeah.
I
That's,
can't believe that.
I know, right?
yeah, that's absurd.
Yeah,
I love it.
someone tried to sue Fox because they alleged that they miscarried because of that movie.
No
Facts.
shit.
Probably
Oh my
didn't,
God.
but like, you got it's
Yeah.
worth a shot.
Yeah.
We seen that movie. Me and Joe went and seen that movie maybe a year or two ago in at the screening
At the
room.
screening room.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that
never
place
seen
is
it
awesome.
before either. It's my
Oh,
first
it's a
time
great
seeing
movie.
it.
Yeah,
So
that was fun.
I got to enjoy it.
Modern audiences find it a little boring, I think, but it's a great movie.
It's Metroid, the movie.
That's right, the movie, yeah.
All right, Rico, same question to you.
I have a couple because I didn't realize it was like going into the theaters and experiencing that.
You don't have to, just whatever, like just to feel like the buzz at the time.
So I have a couple. It's Back to the Future 1 and 2, because those are my
Nice.
favorite movies ever. Even though people don't like 2, but I love 2.
2 and 3 are great.
Those I've seen. Those are my favorite movies, basically. And I think I'd like to see the Truman Show in theaters when it first came out, and maybe like Vanilla Sky or something like that. I don't know. Those are the 3 movies that I watch like all the time. They're like one of my go-tos, and maybe Training Day.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
Can I tell
How
you
about
guys
you?
about my old man moment I had when I was thinking about this?
Go ahead.
And I was like, man, it would be really cool to see Cabin in the Woods in theaters. And I was like, you did see that in theaters.
Oh yeah, yeah. If I had to sit down and make a list, 70% of my movies would probably be ones that I've seen in theaters. But the experience was just
Oh,
so
that'd be
good. I
cool
would
to
love
go
do it
back
again.
and see it again.
It
Yeah,
would, yeah. Yeah, especially
absolutely.
because like that one was cool because like I didn't know anything going into that. And that is a hell of a ride. If you
never
haven't
seen
seen
that.
it, you owe it to yourself to see Cabin in the Woods. It's such a treat.
Yeah, Rico, you'd love that movie.
It's
Yeah.
great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I thought about The Village too, but
Oh, I saw that in theaters. I wanted to leave when I found out the twist. but I went there with my grandmother, and she wanted to stay to the end, so we didn't.
Well, yeah, because she's from the Psycho generation. That probably blew her fucking socks off.
I think she wanted to nap,
Good
if I'm
twist.
being honest. But
Yeah.
Joe, what about you?
Mine would be Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
good pick.
Because
Good pick.
for the same reasons you said, Remy, like there were people supposedly getting sick and walking out of the theater because it was so offensive. And to be honest, I saw that for the first time when I was a teenager, and I watched it at like noon on like a bright sunny summer day, and I was still like, holy shit.
It gets you.
Yeah. If you're not expecting what it's doing, it'll get you good. I would just love to be there when that was like new and people were used to that kind of thing.
I would have loved to have seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 in theaters just to see everyone's crushing disappointment.
Oh, you don't like that movie?
I personally love that movie.
Oh,
the fucking
good.
chainsaw fight, so good. But like, it's not the sequel I think people were expecting to that film at all.
It's a bit goofy, but in all the best ways.
Ugh.
All right.
Is this a start to our sister podcast, Tales from the Movie Theater?
Probably.
Tales from the Movie Theater. Yes.
Here, hurry up, copyright it.
Tales from the Dark Side. Actually,
Come
that's
watch us on our YouTube channel. Tales from the Movie Theater. All right. This is getting out of hand. Moving on. All right. As I mentioned earlier, today we'll be covering our first of many episodes, hopefully, of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, which is an American television anthology series created, hosted, and produced by Alfred Hitchcock. It aired on CBS and NBC between 1955 and 1965. It features dramas, thrillers, and mysteries, with Hitchcock himself surprisingly directing only 18 episodes during the show's run.
Weird.
Yeah, right? There's like 200 some episodes. One of those episodes is the one we will be discussing today, entitled Revenge.
Oh, I didn't know he directed this one.
Yes, he did.
Interesting.
Very first episode. Following a nervous breakdown, dancer Elsa Spann moves into a quiet trailer park with her husband Carl in search of a more peaceful life. Everything seems to be perfect until one day Elsa is assaulted by a strange man, leaving her traumatized and in a near catatonic state. Frustrated by the inability of the police to find a suspect, Carl decides to take matters into his own hands. Revenge premiered on Sunday, October 2nd, 1955, and is the very first episode of the series. It is based on a short story of the same name written by Samuel Bloss, originally published in the January 1947 issue of Collier's magazine. It stars Ralph Meeker as Carl Spann, Psycho's final girl herself, Vera Miles, as Elsa Spann, Frances Bavier as Mrs. Ferguson, and Ray Teal of Bonanza fame as the police lieutenant. If for some reason you've gotten to this point in the episode and have not watched this and would like to, it is available for free on Peacock. There's multiple iterations of it all over Dailymotion. And for $1.99, you can get it on Prime. Just make sure it's the 1955 version and not the 85 remake. Because I almost watched that one.
I'm sure that's special in its own beautiful 80s way.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it and I just didn't find the time to. I want to see how like
technically the first. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good.
Oh, it's technically the first episode of the 1985 series too.
Oh,
there's a pilot episode, and then there's the pilot episode has 4 stories, and then the first episode after that's Revenge.
That's cool.
I'm curious about it
cool.
because there's some dated things in the version we're covering today. So I'm curious to see how like 30 years later, how
I bet it's exactly the same.
Yeah,
I bet it's a shot for shot remake if I had to guess.
Yeah,
probably
with different clothes.
Kind of like the unnecessary Psycho remake with Vince Vaughn. And
yes, there's 3 of those. There are 3 of them.
Vince
and
Vaughn's
none of them are good.
Yeah, he plays Norman Bates, and it's like it's the exact same movie.
How's that show, Bates Motel?
People
I
like
never
it.
watched it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not really my thing.
I'm not big on prequels, especially when they're over an entire series.
Yes,
I just like
could
being
not
creeped out.
agree harder.
Yeah, I just like not knowing.
Yeah,
Makes
it
it
never
creepier
makes
for
things
me.
better, man. It never does.
Yeah. All right. So what did you guys think generally about this episode before we go in?
I'll go last.
Okay.
I liked it. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it. It was I didn't expect I still don't honestly, I don't even know what actually happened definitively, so
Fair enough.
I'm still kind of confused.
All right, Remy, lay it on us.
So I'm so surprised that Alfred Hitchcock directed this, and like you listing those actors, like there's a lot of really big like names, or like at least really good character actors. But I felt like this episode kind of punched below its weight for like I do have to cut it. I have softened on it because when I first watched this, I was irate, and I think I was just in a bad mood. But my thing is just I saw the twist coming like 10,000 miles away, and maybe this is a product of this was from 1955, so maybe you wouldn't expect the twist that occurs, but like I don't know. Also, I agree with Rico. There is a section in the middle of this that is incredibly confusing. And it revolves around the actual attack to the point where it's like it's not really clear if an attack actually occurred at all. And I think that's probably intentional.
Yeah.
But it is confusing.
I think it is. I like it though too.
All right. Well, then in that case, let's get to the episode and we'll make our way there and we can discuss as we go along.
What did you think, Joe?
Okay, before we do that, I gotta pause this for some sponsors.
Okay.
Okay, and we're back.
All right.
That's what they do in the episode.
Oh, you're right. They do. Also, I just want to comment.
I thought you were being serious.
Alfred Hitchcock is so good as the like host. Like at the end, where they play the ad, no ad plays, and then he's like, "And I couldn't have said it better myself. Good night."
Yeah,
that made me laugh.
I get it for the time, but it was funny. I was like, "Where am I?" Like, I was so out of it.
I definitely expected to see a black and white ad for like soap.
That's probably what it was. I actually, speaking of that, I read that whole spiel that we'll get into it later. All right, let's get to the episode. So the episode opens up on Carl Span waking up to his alarm and kissing his wife Elsa before heading off to make breakfast and get ready for his first day at his new job. And we immediately get the idea that they're very happy with each other and very much in love.
Yes.
And I like the way they set them up in this opening scene. But what was the deal? Did I hear him right? When he wakes her up, does he say, "Hey, worthless"?
He does.
Yeah,
he definitely does. I
was gonna
that.
say that. Yeah.
I had to listen to that a couple of times. I thought I was just hearing it wrong.
Hey, worthless. I love that.
So
I feel like it's kind
so
of
sexy.
weird, yeah, it's kind of a weird thing to say.
I think that,
struggling with a
even
mental
like
crisis.
in a teasing way too.
Yeah,
because you could tell it's just like he's just fucking with her, but it's like
it's just weird.
Something else besides that.
Yeah, but yeah, there's really not much to this scene other than that necessarily. We haven't really gotten to know them yet.
There is a back and forth that was so weird to me, where it's like he's talking about, because I think he's a mechanic, and he's talking about his world being the real one and hers being the fake one.
Oh, yeah.
And she's like, I think they're both real. And it's like, is the ballet the real world? I don't know. It doesn't seem super like it is, but that's just my sense.
Yeah, because over breakfast, we learn about her training in ballet. And we kind of get the idea that that's what led to her mental breakdown, all of her rigorous training. And he says to her, practicing 9 hours a day from the age of 10 may make a great ballerina, I suppose, but I'm afraid it cuts you off from the rest of the world, sweetheart. And he says it in kind of a condescending way, like you little girl and you're dancing.
It's not wrong, but he does say like an asshole.
Yes, he absolutely did. Like, I'm 9 hours a day of anything as a 10-year-old will drive you insane, but he is kind of condescending, but in like, that loving 50s husband sort of way.
Yeah, and at that time it's not like Most women, a lot of women were like stay-at-home moms or two at the
That's
time
true.
too.
Yeah.
Or
mean,
ballerinas.
You can only imagine how much pressure was put on her to be a good dancer, you know?
I'm surprised this chick didn't marry Walter Jameson.
That's in the sequel. After her current one goes to jail.
Does he pour them milk? Are they drinking milk?
Are you looking at
I
something?
don't know.
What are you
I
talking
couldn't tell
about?
if they were drinking milk or I don't know what the hell they're drinking.
Oh, I don't know. Black and white, it's hard to tell.
And they live in like a trailer. I couldn't tell it was a trailer
Yeah.
at first. And then
Yeah,
It's a pretty nice trailer,
a trailer.
but it might just because it's black and white.
Yeah. So then after breakfast, Carl leaves for work. And on his way out, we're introduced to the most annoying character in the episode, Mrs. Ferguson,
So
who
pointless.
offers
from
to
Andy
look in.
Griffith, from the Andy Griffith show, Aunt B from Andy Griffith show.
Aunt B, yeah, I completely missed that.
So many people in this. It's so bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah,
And she
so
breaks out in a whistle.
yeah, so
sus.
yeah, because then she drops in to check on Elsa, and Elsa's inside baking a cake. And that's where we learn that Elsa and Carl got married while Elsa was dancing her first part as a ballerina and just being so overwhelmed by everything going on at once. That was largely what led to her having her mental break, which I can understand.
I missed that whole part. I didn't even know that's why she had a mental breakdown, because she was a ballerina.
Yeah. Well,
I thought it was because she was previously attacked. I definitely
I just
that
thought
up.
she just had a mental breakdown.
when she sits down with old Fergie and they're
Oh.
drinking their apple juice. When
Oh yeah, I got that. You want to have a glass of apple juice with me?
Oh yeah.
yeah, and then she says yes, only
She
half.
takes
a
like a
glass.
sip.
Yeah, she says half
yeah,
a glass,
only
and
half
then
a
Elsa
Too
glass.
pours
strong. It's
Elsa
too
pours her a
powerful.
full ass glass.
Let's not get too crazy.
Yeah.
A half a glass. of apple
Half a
juice.
glass.
And she takes like one sip and wastes the rest.
Yeah.
Fucking Aunt B.
And one note I have written down is I loved Elsa in this scene because after everything the world has gone through recently, watching her like bake a cake in a messy kitchen without pants on, I really felt connected to her in a big way because she's like all of us while trying to get her head
Very
straight.
likable.
Yeah.
She's a very likable character.
I mean, who hasn't had a mental episode recently and solved it by cooking with nothing but a shirt on?
I know. Or nothing.
I know I have. Or nothing. Yeah. You know, you're in
You
your
just
house.
deal with the grease burns because that's what you do.
All right. So at this point, Elsa and Mrs. Ferguson go outside because Elsa explained that the doctor recommended that she get plenty of sun and rest. And this part, fucking Fergie annoyed me at this part because Elsa takes off her shirt and she's got a fairly modest swimsuit on, and Mrs. Ferguson gives her this look.
She does.
this
It goes
very-
in her legs, right?
like
It pans
this
on her.
very-
It goes to her legs. The
Yeah.
camera.
Yeah, and she gives her this, and then she like looks around, and like with this very like, "How dare you tempt men?" look.
I know.
Very sus.
Yeah,
I think when you have to remember this is the 50s and this woman grew up in the 20s. And
Yeah,
it's
it's a good one.
sounds like her idea of risky is ankles, like
Is
flappers.
she jealous? Is she jealous of does she want her husband? What's her husband's name again?
Carl.
Does Aunt B want Carl?
Yeah, but you wants Carl.
Yeah, why not?
I think she's just jealous because she
She's
doesn't
young.
look like that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and also because modesty and all that shit.
Yeah.
Now I don't want to jump ahead, but see the whole episode I'm still thinking maybe she did it. Is it
Oh, really?
too early or should I wait?
Oh, you're thinking that?
There was a possibility that she could have attacked her,
Well-
I thought. But
Interesting. Well, okay.
We're almost
We'll
there.
get to that.
we can wait. We can wait.
Yeah. Because after next scene, Carl arrives home from work. He finds the cake burning in the oven, and Elsa is unresponsive in the bedroom.
He just throws it outside the trailer. I
Yeah.
love it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems smart. What else would you do with that?
That is smart. I know.
Yeah, and then he finds Elsa in the bedroom. And what does anyone know what that is that he poured down her throat?
No.
Is that alcohol? It looked like booze. Like
I didn't know if
whiskey
it
or
was
something.
alcohol or if that was
Could have
like,
been water.
like an
I
old
bet
timey
it was
like
rum. They used to think that was a good thing to do to wake people
Okay.
up.
It
Okay.
could have been, or it could have been water in a
Yeah.
glass bottle.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was either that or like some sort of like old timey.
That's why they
Tonic.
used to give it to St. Bernards, because they thought the warming on your insides of alcohol was actually warming you up.
Interesting. Oh, like in the little barrels
Yeah.
on their necks. Okay,
Yeah.
I thought you meant they fed the St. Bernard's rum.
That would be hilarious.
That's just
No.
horrible. All right, and then when Carl goes in to talk to Elsa when she finally comes to, she says, "He killed me. The cake. I came in to see the cake, and when I turned around, he was standing there. He said he was a salesman, and when he asked me for money, I refused him. Then he grabbed me, and I screamed, and he choked me, and then he killed me. He killed me." That's very disturbing.
In
I want
retrospect,
to know what
this
she
was
means
clearly
by
a
that.
dream.
You think?
Yeah, he killed me. She's not dead.
Well, I mean, I don't blame her for not exactly
but she's just
speaking clearly.
Out of it though.
I
Yeah.
know, just it does have a very dream-like quality to it. Like
But
she fell asleep making a cake.
because the one thing I was curious about though is when he first comes in, she has that flower in her hand.
Yeah.
But the cop says later that, or it's either the cop or Carl says something about how it was like a flower off of like a lapel from a suit.
Oh, I missed that.
It's
I
a
forgot about
carnation.
that
Well,
part, actually.
He
Yeah,
says
you're
it's a
right.
carnation. He says the carnation. I don't know that he
Carnation,
yeah. Oh,
mentions
yeah.
that it specifically comes off of a suit, but that would be
Could
Those
have
are the
been,
soup
yeah.
flowers, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
It's
She
roses or
ripped it off.
carnations.
She ripped it off Freddy Krueger in her dream.
Yeah, she did.
all right. I'm skipping ahead with that one. So Carl calls for Fergie and she runs home and calls a doctor that she says she knows. Convenient. And the police arrive to investigate and they don't really turn up much of anything.
They're half interested at best.
Yeah. They're like, well, it could have been a man. Probably.
Do you
a
think
man.
there's
Could have been
any
two
possi-
men. Could have
You
been a
think there's
bear.
a possibility it was Aunt B?
I don't know, because she said she was in town. They don't really show her
Yeah.
come home or leave.
Why did they do that really sketchy scene then? Just to
That's a
make
good
you
point.
think she could be a possibility, maybe.
Yeah, I think you're right. I
Well-
think they do that to set up the seeds. That it
Yeah.
could be her.
What the scene
I don't
before
think
she
it
gets
was
attacked?
her.
Yeah.
The scene of her like getting pissed off at her sexy legs and then,
I think that's also just from the lens of us in 2021. We think that
Oh yeah, it could
if
be.
we were
Yeah.
watching this in the 50s, we probably would have been like, "Oh man, she's gonna have men all over her with those legs." You know?
Oh yeah, maybe it was just
Like-
foreshadowing that she was going to get attacked by a man.
Yeah, because she was asking.
oh
for it.
maybe
Yeah. I think that is probably it. And now that,
That
you
might.
say
For the record, I don't think she was asking for it.
that, that is important to clarify.
Everybody
I'm
No
not
one on
looking
this
to get our
podcast.
show
everybody
canceled.
tweet Joe.
But according to Aunt B, she was asking for it by not covering up in her own
Damn dirty
friggin' front
flapper.
yard.
Joe thinks all women should wear pilgrim outfits.
Yes. Ankle length dresses and nothing less.
Nothing less. Wool, heavy wool.
All right, let's
I
get
s-
off this.
I see your eyes and seeing too much. All right. All right.
Yes,
please.
that would be nice. She kept saying that too.
Yeah. Well, later on.
She
Yeah, 'cause the
says
only-
it once. She says it once in the bedroom too, I think. Or
Well,
maybe
yeah,
twice.
yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, because all the police can come up with is a woman down a few trailers, saw a man that was roughly 6 foot tall in a gray suit with dark hair, which in 1955
That's
is literally
everybody. Yeah,
every
you just
man.
described everybody.
Yeah. So that kind of doesn't help much. So doctor checks in on Elsa and he says she isn't too rough physically, but mentally she's been through a lot. And between this and her breakdown, he advises that Carl get her out of there and take her to a hotel or somewhere so she could get away, which sucks for her because this is her getting away. And now she has to get away from getting away.
Yeah, it sucks having a,
And
like
that's
their
when
new home.
And that's when she first says that to Carl, because he's watching her later that night and the police come back to check in. And that's when they tell Carl that they really don't have any leads to work on. And then when he goes back in and he tells Elsa, you know, I'm going to take you somewhere the doctor suggested. And she says, yes, that would be nice.
Okay, yeah, that's when she first says it.
And then he says, that's when he says, if I ever find him, I'll kill him. And
Yeah.
Elsa says, yes.
Yes. Yes,
Okay,
my
yeah,
dear.
that would
Yeah.
be nice. It
And
will
then,
be nice.
Yeah. Okay, I'm mistaken. The next day is when he tells her about the plan to take her somewhere.
Yeah, it's the same
And
thing.
It's a little muddled. Yeah, it's fine.
yeah, they're back to back, but
The passage of
Yeah.
time is not totally
for the sake
clear.
of continuity. And this is where Carl says to her, you know, you think you'd know him if you ever saw him again. And she says, yes. Oh, yes. She seems very like, oh yeah, I'll get that fucker.
She also seems a little out of it, to be
Yeah,
fair.
definitely
Yeah.
out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
absolutely.
In a weird catatonic-ish state.
Yeah. Yeah. She's kind of 1,000-yard stare. So next day, Carl drives Elsa into town. And while they're on the way, she believes she sees the man walking down the street. And it's interesting this scene too, because she's just kind of staring off and you could tell Carl's just nervously like looking at everyone they drive by. So like he's on edge and it's not a good time for either of them. And that's where she says, there he is. That's him. That's him. And Carl's just like, all right, boom. He believes
Pull
her.
this car over. Let's do some murder.
Yeah, like good on him for believing her and not being like, hey, you. But
I do think he maybe should have pushed a little. Not,
Yes.
I don't believe you, but like, are you sure?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, because he's like the rest of the episode, he's very just like dismissive of her and her situation. And then when she's like, there's the man, he's like, get him.
Guy looks sketch. I don't blame him, Carl.
Did he look sketchy? He just looked like an old man.
Sketch.
I will
This
I
is
will
just
say that man,
Men are
his
sketch.
suit
pick.
was a bit too roomy for
And
my
B
liking.
probably put him up to it.
And to be fair, that man's suit was a bit too roomy for my liking. So
I am convinced people
don't
in the
trust a
50s
man.
did not own tape measurers. They didn't understand the concept of tailoring.
it looked like he borrowed this. from his
No, they
older
definitely
brother.
tailored more back then, I would assume.
Have you seen these suits, man? None of them fit. They're all swimming in them.
Well, there was a prop. It was in a prop closet.
Maybe it was the style at the time.
It's the first episode. They didn't have any money yet.
Oh, they had Alfred Hitchcock. They had money.
Hey, that's a nice suit there. What size you wearing? Man. It's man sized.
It's man-sized. One size fits none.
All right. So after Elsa points the man out, Carl pulls over and we see him slip a wrench up his sleeve before getting out and following the man who appears to enter a hotel, I believe.
Yes.
And
Without the woman he was with.
he was with a woman.
I thought so.
I didn't see him with a woman.
I thought he was just
Maybe-
walking down the street. I
Maybe
thought
she
he
was
like
just walking close to him and I assumed they were together.
yeah, I thought he just looked like a businessman with his briefcase and shit. Either way, doesn't matter. So Carl follows him up to his room and proceeds to bash his head in with said wrench, which
I love that shot though.
It's good.
yes, that was really good. That whole scene was really good.
Yeah. The whole
It
thing is
was good.
extremely well
It
shot.
built the tension, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the guy's got the music playing in his room, and Carl just
Yeah.
sneaks in all quiet, and the man's going about his business.
Best
The,
scene in the whole
the
thing, for
elevator
sure.
scene too.
Yeah,
The elevator scene. And he's like, "Which floor? You first."
you first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shit like that always makes me so uncomfortable because, like, how often are you just like in a stairwell with a random person or in an
Oh, it's the
elevator
worst.
and
Yeah.
they could think you're someone else, and before you even realize what's going on, you're eating a wrench, you know?
Stairwell is my
Ugh.
biggest fear because it's especially if someone's above you. Oh. Thump,
Yeah.
thump, 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 thump.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like that. That doesn't sit well with me. All right. So there, Carl kills the man.
So murder
Out of the
most
hotel.
foul has occurred.
Murder most foul. Yeah, because then we see he leaves the hotel and the maid finds the man and she comes running down where there happens to conveniently be a cop in the lobby.
I know. When are they ever there?
Yeah.
There was a cop in the lobby.
Yes.
Yeah, talking to the guy at the front desk. She was like,
Oh.
"Oh, there was a murder upstairs," or whatever the hell she said.
Oh
She's, like,
yeah.
freaking out.
I didn't realize
So
it was a
then-
cop. I just thought she was telling the main desk person.
I very well may have made that up too. I don't know.
I thought it was a cop. I thought he was confused that he was in a hotel and not a strip club. That's why he was talking to the front guy.
All right. So Carl goes outside. He gets back in the car. And he asks Elsa if she'd like to take a drive before going to the hotel. I assume that was just to kind of get out of
It
there.
would be nice. It would
Because,
be
you know,
nice.
it was the 50s. So as long as you weren't standing there when the cops showed up, you're pretty
You
much
got nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It would be nice.
Everyone looks like Carl. So just don't be standing there with a bloody wrench in your hand and you're fine. So Elsa agrees and they go for a drive. And then she looks out the window where she sees a man and she says, "There he is. That's him."
That's him.
And then we shift focus to Carl's face as he
Oh,
slowly
fuck.
realizes the horrible mistake he made as the sound of sirens blare in the background.
I felt bad for
And there
Carl.
we have it.
I did too.
I feel bad for him to a degree.
He acted way
'Cause-
too rash, though.
Yeah, I was say,
Yeah,
back to our
but-
previous conversation. He could have.
Wouldn't you
I know.
get a torturer's confession out of him first before you
Yeah.
murdered him?
Or he could have even just like roughed the guy up a bit and left. He didn't have to fucking kill him.
Drag him down to the
Do we?
police station.
We don't know he's dead.
Oh,
In
he's dead.
fairness, yeah.
They say he was arrested for murder at the end.
In fairness, were I in Carl's shoes, I would also want to kill the guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
so
Yeah,
it's-
absolutely.
It's easy for me to say now that I would just rough him up a bit, but yeah,
I would break his kneecaps, and then we go from there.
mistakes were definitely made.
It's a classic story.
Yeah, 'cause
Classic
then we,
story. Tale
we
as
get
old as
the-
time.
I didn't write it down because I don't know why I didn't, but we get a ending monologue
monologue.
from Hitchcock himself explaining that Carl was arrested and tried and all that good stuff. And that was what I was going to bring up earlier. Is I read that apparently the sponsors didn't like the idea of Carl getting away with murder. So that was their idea that Hitchcock explained to us at the end what happened to him. And
That's
that Justice-
hilarious.
Yeah, because
They
didn't
Blade
like-
Runnered it.
They
Yeah.
didn't realize that he was actually caught.
Well, you just
Well,
hear
they
the
didn't-
sirens. You don't actually see him get caught.
They didn't
It's
want to
basic.
sponsor something that made it seem
Yeah.
like the guy got away with murder, so they made him say his justice was served. So
I
that
mean,
way,
it was pretty obvious to
We
me.
at the
Everyone could have a
Kellogg
clean
Company
conscience.
support, circumcision, but we draw
Yeah.
the line at fictitious murder.
yeah. But we're
Pear
okay with it.
aspirin.
Yeah, we're okay with murder as long as you serve your time.
Yeah.
And murder away, folks. Murder away. All right, and that is
And hold on,
Murder
before you're done,
Revenge.
we gotta cut to another sponsor real quick.
okay.
Okay, we're good.
Okay,
So-
we're back.
There was the one thing I thought was super funny from Alfred Hitchcock when he's like, I'm here to tell people who can't read the titles and to explain to people who are too slow what happened at the end.
He did say something like that. Yeah.
Yes.
I was dying. He was my favorite part of this whole thing for sure.
Yeah, that's I look forward to digging more into these and
I would
finding
watch
some good.
just him, to be honest.
Yeah.
I would just watch him making fun of people. It sounds
just watch
great.
a compilation of Hitchcock just fucking roasting people.
I like this whole walk-in thing with
Yeah, it's cool. It really is. It holds
I
up.
never really watched this show, so
This is the first time I've
probably
ever seen it.
First episode of, yeah, I think this is the first time I might have caught an episode here and there, but
I've watched a lot of his movies. Like I absolutely love Rear View Window, A Touch of Evil, Psycho, The Bird. So many good ones. But I've never seen the show before, so this was definitely interesting.
Yeah, there's a lot of good ones. He drew that little like.
Oh, did he?
Like his outline of his belly, like his profile. Yeah, he drew that himself.
Yeah.
All right. So, final thoughts, Rico. Overall, anything else you need to get out there, touch upon?
I like this episode, and I'm excited to watch more of Alfred Hitchcock Presents.
Yeah. Remy,
Do you want to grade?
I'm gonna give it 2.5 bloody wrenches.
not what I asked, but okay. Rico, what is your rating?
I'd give it a B minus.
2.5
B
bloody
minus.
wrenches and a B minus. I give it a thumbs
Out
up.
of Tommy's.
As I picked it. All right, so
5 Ant B's.
there you
5
have it.
Amps.
A
Makes
B,
sense.
an Ant. All right, so my official score is an Ant B minus.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, all right, so there you have it, folks. Make sense of that system whatever way you want. Now is where we move on to the most exciting part of the show, Rico's Trivia Corner, where I seek to take my lead back against Remy.
Rico, did you come up with trivia?
All right, I have one. Yes,
Yes, he sure does. Lay it on us.
trivia.
Trivia.
All right. So the score is tied 1-1 actually with you guys.
Yeah, it is.
Remy, you don't have another Halloween question for
No,
us?
I don't have another piece of trivia to fuck up for everybody.
You're retired.
So
It's a good. It'll be in the blooper reel.
yes, it will be for all time.
All right. So this is I'm gonna call this game the one with the barbershop vampires. Bonus question: what show am I gonna ask? What these actors are from?
Is it Tales from the Dark Side?
Nope.
Am I getting
All right,
points
I'm
for
gonna go
this?
on with No,
Then
not official. An
I have no
unofficial
idea.
point. All right,
Unofficial
so we're gonna
point.
go with this.
Ghost points.
This is a Friends actor.
Oh,
It's gonna
fuck.
be. All right, so this is an episode of Monsters.
Oh, really? All right.
Yes. All right. So a middle-aged, I'm sorry. So Will Wheaton is in this episode, and he tries to convince his friend Blank that a local barbershop is run by vampires. They break into the barbershop and are caught, and they indeed end up being vampires. They turn Will Wheaton and Blank, this actor, into vampires. Now, which Friends actor was it?
I
A.
love monsters.
Matt LeBlanc, aka Joey Tribbiani. B. Matthew Perry, aka Chandler Bing. Or C. David Schwimmer, aka Ross Geller.
I think it's David Schwimmer.
Final answer.
Oh wait, what the?
Yeah, I guess.
Answer.
All right. My gut tells me Matthew Perry.
Okay, what's that bald guy's name? Does anyone know?
Which
That
bald
worked at the
guy?
coffee shop.
Remy?
Bald guy that
Joe?
worked at the yeah, that worked at the coffee shop. Gunther.
Gunther?
Rest in
He-
peace, Gunther.
Yeah, he died
He
recently.
just passed away. Yeah. So rest in peace, Gunther. Is that your guys' final answers?
Yes.
Remy is C, David Schwimmer, Joe is Matthew Perry.
I
I feel
only
great
want to
about
watch
this,
that if
but
Matthew
yeah.
Perry's in it.
Okay, you're both wrong. It's Matt LeBlanc.
Fuck,
Joey.
I almost said that.
Joey.
well, we're still tied then.
I don't like
It
it.
was it's a pretty outrageous episode. It's cool Will Wheaton was in it too.
It sounds great, actually.
Monsters is the best, man. It's just the
Would love to watch
wildest, stupidest show.
It is ridiculous. All right. I get a point there, so we're all tied.
That seems fair.
That's not fair at all.
Points got to go somewhere.
Hickman God gets a point.
We can't let the quizmaster give himself points. That's how he gets out of control and takes over.
So what are we watching next time?
Well,
You're
yeah,
picking it.
your
Remy.
episode.
Oh yeah, I'm picking it. Next time, we are watching the Monsters seminal classic, Bug House. You can find this on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure it's on Amazon as well. And you
I don't
should
think
watch
it
it
is.
because it is grimy. That is my sales pitch.
Grimy is a word for it.
Okay. So next week we're watching Monsters.
Yes,
What's it called again?
Bug House.
Bug House. So yeah. And should I just say my episode just so they
Sure.
can get a heads up? Okay, so I switched my episode. So after Monsters, we're gonna watch Inside Number 9, and it's season 1, episode 2, A Quiet Night In, and
Very
it's
excited for
available
this.
on Hulu. Right, Joe? Hulu.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And I don't know of anywhere else it's available.
Me either. It could be on Prime for money, but let's go get Hulu.
F that, yeah.
If you're gonna
Yeah.
watch along with us, you might as well have Hulu.
Yeah, you're better off doing that way.
But I'm so excited to talk about that episode and your episode, Remy.
We're all excited for that.
I don't even know.
It is on season 1 is on Prime. No, the whole series is on Prime.
Okay. Is it?
Okay.
It costs money.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah.
All right. Do either of you have anything else to plug or touch on before we get
Oh,
out of
yeah.
here?
I just put out a new Bigfoot video. So if you want
Yeah,
to
you did.
see evidence of Bigfoot that made the news and is hilarious, go check that out.
Rico, anything for you?
If you have any suggestions for Tales from the TV, anything you want us to watch, email us at talesfromthetv@gmail.com or go to our Twitter at Tales from the TV. Hit us up there or comment below. Like, subscribe. Go check us out on any audio podcast app that you use. Tales from the TV. Go follow and subscribe and comment and 5-star ratings, please.
If you say Tales from the
That's-
TV
Absolutely.
3 times into the mirror, one of us will appear behind you.
We'll look
Yes.
out for Tales from the movie theater. That's never coming.
If that name isn't already taken.
And even if you hate us, 5-star ratings and then just
Yeah,
talk low
that'll
bad
show
shit.
us.
in your comments. But 5 stars.
5 stars. That'll show us who's boss.
Should I give the ending quote or do we have anything else? Joe, you got anything?
I got nothing.
Did you beat Raditz?
So until next week, this is Tales from the TV. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.